Nginibingelele kuyeye show uthulani uyeyeye wakwaGumede bafethu ngeke nganengxoxo nomfowethu uDr Sandile Mthimkhulu sibuka nje impilo yakhe yonke bafethu ngicela sihlale phansi siyilalele le ngxoxo ngoba namhlanje uSandile simazi njengo doctor kodwa umubuka ibackground yakhe from ukuhlukumezeka belala emahlathini behamba belala yonke indawo ekhula enokuzenyeza kodwa namhlanje usewudokotela ngicela sihlale phansi ke siyilalele le ngxoxo yakhe sithole ukuthi iziphi izinto adlule kuzo and udlule kanjani kuzo njengoba esewumuntu awuye njengamanje ngiyakuthembisa ukuthi uma usulalele le ngxoxo zonke inkingo onazo uzozibona ngazuthi azizinkulu zizobona futhi kuyinto ongakwazi ukwenqoba siyanamukela ke futhi kuyeye show hlala phansi ubiza umakhelwane ungakhohlwa futhi nokusubscribe impela ulike sikhule njengemndeni siyabonga kakhulu. Mhlanje nginesambeli sethu impela engisazi kangconywana impela kodwa ngiyakholela ukuthi kule ngxoxo ngizoba nayo naye ngizomazi kangcono kunaqala. Dr Sandile Mthimkhulu ngikubingelele kuyeye show.
Ngiyabingelela mfethu. Ngibonge ngokuthi ungimeme ukuthi ngibe khona. Show. Ngijabula kakhulu.
Hayi. Siyabonga kuyintokozo. Kwabangazi relationship yethu I think i-data back angisakhumbuli ukuthi 2005 or 2006 but ngafike wopho ngo-2005 so uma ukuthi nawe wafika ngo-2005 then go depend ukuthi wafika nini but sengikwaze since then and yeah I think there's quite a lot that I'll be hearing from you ucija nama-viewers lapha ekhaya. Was it 2005 or 2006?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Iwobhayithi lokuqina. Nice. Yeah. Mhlawumbe sisalapho kulento esewobhe of which is i-race yase-UKZN. If you were to go back to your first year now to try and talk to Sandile, owayekade efika lapha ephethe ikhwama ezohlala e-race for the first time. If you were to go back to talk to that guy, knowing what you know now, having achieved what you've achieved now, what is it that you think you would tell that guy, you know?
Wow.
Anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
I'll tell that guy, Oguti, only the sky is the limit.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I would say to that guy because he wasn't motivated enough.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of limitations.
Yeah.
I think even though there was something inside that was saying keep going, but I think there was a lot of limitations that he had in his mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I would say the sky is the limit.
Nice.
Yeah.
For ungazi, what do you think was the leading cause? Mhlawumbe yini eyimbangela enkulu ukuthi uSandile then abe nama limitations, you know?
I think ukufundiseka ne? Yabo because ukuthi ukhulelephi.
Yeah.
Uzalelephi wakhulela ekunomthelo omkhulu.
Kakhulu, yeah.
Ekunomthelo omkhulu ukuthi mawufika phakathi kwabantu njengabantu engangifikela kubona mangifike e-university ekutheni uzozibuka kanjani wena yabo so and lokho kuzokwe ukuthi uzibuka kanjani kunomthelela kakhulu ekutheni uzobehave kanjani around abantu.
That's big.
Yabo so I think self-image.
Yeah.
I think that was the big problem.
Yeah.
Yabo for me.
Yeah.
I think not ukuthi sengifikile la ngifanele
khona
but I think I'm getting better. Better.
As it's quite amazing ukuthi I said something similar to that in Nkhuluma nabanye abantu about this thing ukhula ngenamahloni because now kuyavela ukuthi amahloni abanye sebeyangiphikela uma bengibuka manje.
Yeah.
So kuhleze kuba nale confusion ukuthi ngabe ngangenamahloni ngenxa ye-upbringing yami noma amahloni wazito vese yakumina because wiring yami as a person.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting whenever one goes back to try and unpack that. But if you were to maybe try and remember what was yini leyimbangela eyayikwenza mhlambe ishaye image yakho ngalo ndlela mhlambe uma ukuthi khona sakukhumbula.
I mean you want me to single out one thing, or
you can share as many as you can. Yeah.
Yo, I think isn't it bengizizwa yabo mangikhula ngisemncane kakhulukazi from ekhaya.
Yeah.
Yabo I think ukuthi mawukhula umuqala ukubuka nje ubona izinto yabo ukwazi ukubuka izinto ukwazi ukulalela wenza uzama ukwenza isense yento ekhulunywayo uzwa utshele ukuthi yazi wena you are nothing, you know, you will never amount to anything.
Sure.
And when you look around, vele awumboni umuntu oyinto engcono kunalezi yabo umubuka around you. Uyabona mabethi I'll never amount to anything. Maybe vele ba right because everyone around me angiboni into ethini mhlambe inspirishayo yabo. So I think it was that kakhulu.
Sure.
Ngiyacabanga yabo because iyona into engibona ukuthi ithe mangifika kwabanye abantu ngabuye ngakhumula. Ngisho because ngothola ukuthi isikhathi ususendaweni right ne. But kunalento ethi you don't belong here. You don't deserve this.
Yeah.
So you just go back to your share.
Yeah.
Even if ukona something of bantu baxoxa nani futhi ukona something ofuna ukisho but uyacabanga I don't deserve to be there, you know. So you just find ikona lakho. So I think it was that mainly.
Yeah. No, Fethu. I think I've tried to highlight this thing as well because even my platform that thing of imposter syndrome, I think it's sazoza kakhulu kuyona because iyakshaya lento, and what I've seen with it ukuthi uma ungekho careful unga accumulate ama accolades amaningi but uthola ukuthi imisa khona lonto everybody people around you will applaud but uthola ukuthi wena usanenkinga because awukadili nalento ukuthi I deserve to be where I am. Uhlezi ubona ngathi ngenzelelwa hayi kanje kanjani, you know. So in fact there's a deeper discussion engizoba nayo nelinye iqhawe just around this. But it's quite amazing what you're saying because in fact I can relate, you know. Ziningi izinto abantu abayishoyo, even some of the people that are great, you know. You feel like telling them ukuthi hayi guys, angazi, you know.
Yeah.
Mabenqoma feel ngathi hayi angazi makuba into negative you feel like okay then close the door.
Ngisho babekele isikhathi ukuthi bakubekele isihlalo somewhere yabo and uyabona somunye umuntu lesi
yes
angeke ube sami
sure
yabo bona mabebuka abantu babona hayi bona yazi wena you deserve this and more but like not me.
Yo.
So yeah, it's very interesting when you start thinking about it.
Yes. No, thank you so much. I think it's a be great to go to see build a foundation is solid. Just going back to was that the corner, you know. Bekunjani nje mhlawumbe musakhumbula indawo akhulela kuyo noma wazalelwa kuyo akhulela kuyo, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Ngizalelwe eNtumeni mina yabo. Enye indawo nje seduze kwase ingaphansi kwase show semakhaya.
Okay.
ENtumeni.
Lovely place ngase show.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I didn't know it was beautiful until you know, because mina ngikhulele ngizalelwe emakhaya yabo wonke umuntu ophila impilo ecishifana yabona semakhaya ni tshaliwe yabo nekhaya nje bekutshaliwe kutshala umbila utshala amadumbe and then later sashintsha satshala umoba kodwa nje bekusemakhaya emakhaya impela and then and ngafunda khona qala ukufunda khona and ngiye esikoleni ngisemncane ke mina yabo because bengakahlanganisi ngisho 6 manje esikoleni and ngiyezwa ngixoxelwa ukuthi isizathu ukuthi ngase ngiqala ukuphupha ngeinkomo ebusuku ngiyibiza amagama
hayibo
Yeah, so ngizwa ngoma ixoxe ukuthi awasebona ukuthi hayi ngeke lo akayi esikoleni.
Sure.
Yabo ukuze bangiqophe inkomeni engase ngiyilandela. Yabo ngangithanda vele ukuthi
Asuyifake ekhanda ngale ndlela.
Ngangithanda ukuthi sacabanga ngashaya ngahlanganisha no6. Yabo kodwa ngangithanda ukuthi ngihambe ngiyinkomeni.
Yeah.
Yabo sasingenazo ekhaya thina yabo ukuthi sinembuzi. Kodwa ekhaya elikhulu bekunenkomo.
Yeah.
So ngangihamba ke nabo babomncane siyolusa inkomo nana.
Sure.
So wabona uma aya esikoleni lo. Yabo. Yeah. So and again kwami esikoleni bengifunda kwesinye isikole okuthiwa ibomvaneni. Sasiqala isikole mangifika. Yabo ngawo lo nyaka ngifika ngasasiqalwa ngalonya. Yabo because ngangivele ayingekho icrash. Yabo noma ngingakahlanganisa u6 kodwa futhi bengimude. Vela thaya ayiko grade 1.
Sure.
Yabo kwaku first year ngaleso sikhathi. Angiyela first year and isikole sethu ke into ehlekisa ngazo ayingekho building. Ikwakhona building.
Oh wow.
I was go to isesikoleni lapha.
Sure. Phansi kwesihlahla.
Kwakunetende yabo makhuluma ngetende hayi la amhlophe yabo usayini yabo usayini lo grade. Kufaka ingodo.
Lawa esemaguzini most of them yeah.
Kufaka ingodo kwafaka usayini ngaphezulu bese kuba khona u-first year u-A u-first year u-B hlale ngokuphambana abambebhekele kodwa makufundwa ngawo yezwa ngala nakufundwa ngala because ayikho vele into ehlukanisile yabo.
Sure.
So ngafunda khona ke u-first year wami and then mawuthi yashisa ilanga bo vele usayini yashisa aze siphumele sihlalele phansi kwesihlahla thisha onesihlalo nina nihlalela etshanini and asibona inkinga nalapho because asikwazi ukungcona akukho ukungcona okunalapho yabo. So safunda lapho and then emva kwalokho u-second year ufundela kwi-lounge yokomunye umuzi and then u-standard 1 ufundela kwi-lounge yakomunye umuzi. So thothi nonke nifunda kulesi sikole kuthiwa ibomvaneni kodwa manje nifika niya ngokuhlukana yalapha omunye kwaNcobo omunye yalapha kwaMsimango nina niya kwi-site etendeni.
Wow.
Yeah, isikole sethu la safunda khona first year lapho.
Sure.
Yeah, so but ke emva kwalokho saqala kwakhiwa ke yabo basenze was a beautiful school after that. So ngafunda khona ngaze ngaqeda ulento le. Ngaqeda ubani u-standard 5. Yabo. So ngaphuma mase nge high school. Kodwa ekukhuleni kwethu abona ngizothi life was good. Yabo because I mean unokudla une shelter. Unamanzi okuphuza nakhona beswakhe emfuleni but amanzi amnandi yabo. So awuyiboni inkinga la.
Yeah.
I mean awucabanga nokucabanga ukuthi udingeka kuba nemoto kudingekani futhi impahla ezinhle nana hayi right yabo. So sakhula kanjalo ke and then so kusukela nje ngemncane until I think 1994 yeah somewhere lapho. Yeah, then things began to change. Yabo. So emva kwalokho everything was good yabo. Was about 6 ekhaya kuma but besihlala sine nengane zaboma mncane abomamkhulu yabona sihlala sibaningi nje khambe kuhlala khona abantu abakhona ababo. So kwahamba isikhathi yeah I think ngoba ngisho 1994 kuya 1995 yeah things began to change ekhaya. And then
so change how?
Yeah, we started noticing izinto nje ezingemnandi nezingezinhle. Yabo like ngathini ubaba waqala wa actor ngenye indlela. Yabo. So siqala kubona ukuthi ngenzekani ubaba ushaya uma asiboni yabo. Ngicabanga uma wayifihla lento yabo. Asiboni but kuhamba isikhashanyana saqala sa notice because uma uthi akaphuma ngaphandle ekhala kwesinye isikhathi simona hayi khona into wrong la umncane ngaleso sikhathi kodwa ubona khona into wrong la yabo. Ayikohamba isikhathi hayibo lento ijwayele kuyenzeka almost weekly.
Sure.
Now this thing is happening and then I think it got to a point where ubaba waqala wabona vele bayazi yabo ngiyacabanga yabo and then ngaleso sikhathi ke waqala sanga was involved in this thing. We don't know what's happening but he's involving us in this thing now ngokuthi ithola ukuthi vela afike ekhaya ntambama ebuye emsebenzini avele uyishayele into zakhe afike ekhaya ntambama aqale yathi akubuze nje umbuzo ongawuqondi uzongena esangweni ememeza Sandile okay bangalona igama lami ngibiza ngale lo ngibiza ngelinye ngeEnglish la yabo so akumemeze yabo and then uthi uhlangana ngasesangweni avela kubuza umbuzo nje ukuthi nje bani omdala la ekhaya sonke siyawazi lo mbuzo siyazi ansala ubaba omdala ungena ngempama
hayibo hayibo mfethu
like manje angene ngenyange and then uzuma ebuza hayibo shayelani ingane bese ngene umama mshaya uthi ungenaphi wena hayibo this thing yaqhubeka athola kwesinye isikhathi mangamina abiza usisi nami yabo and then it got to a point where like this thing kufanele hlale siyilindele ke manje njalo into amfanele hlale siyilindele yabo because kwakwenzeka the same thing
sure
all the time yabo. So now we started looking at him as though he's an animal, although he's our father, you know, our biological father, you know. You're like, yeah. I mean, it was like that for this courtesy. Ngikhumbula kahle, I mean, kwesinye isikhathi bewuthola ukuthi sivele sibaleke yabo. Khona ukuthi vele besimlindela afike ephuzile amaqala nje izinto zakhe yaqala eshayo yedwa ubona hayi ukuthi manje nibaleke isikhathi amweni sihambe ebusuku isikhathi sihlale silinde ebusuku ehlathini somewhere azalale sibuye and then kwesinye isikhathi sibaleke siyohlala kolala komunye umuzi yabona komakhelwane isikhathi ngabona eveni ebusuku niyahamba nina khogesi ke ngale yabo ngaso sikhathi kumnyama and thina bese sarandwa amahla kuyimoba amahlathi yabo sesikhathi uyayizwa inkulumo yehlathi ibhonga lapha yabo thola umake wazi in charge that that moment is elite yabo she will be the one telling us you stop here, this is what you do mawubona into yabo ubona isithunzi, this is what you do, uyagoba phansi uyibuke kahle yabo yonke leyo nto le yaqhubeka this thing yabo and kwesinye isikhathi yabo ngoba silokho silale emzini abantu but abantu nabo bakhathala yithi yabo ngicabanga nami kube ngangibona ngizokhathala because manje yabona ukuthi vele nihlaya emphakathini and nihlaya esikoleni ngoba lezi ngane nifunda nazo esikoleni phela nifunda nazo yabo nihlaya manje la yabona esikoleni nokuvisitha ama social worker kwesinye isikhathi because nabo uma uyazama ukuthi sithola abantu abangakwazi ukusisiza basisize sizama ukulungisa indlela esicabanga ngayo na she didn't know what to do
and that woman was aware of that.
Yeah, she was.
That was quite amazing.
Yeah. And mangiyibuka manje like you you know and
she was ahead.
Yeah, I think she was. I mean visitwa lezi imoto za social worker nani and then bakhuluma nawe I don't even remember the things abezishuas yabo so and life yethu yayihlukile kwezinye ingane so kwaqhubeka this thing and then ngoba kutshela abokhelwane bagcina bekhathala kwesinye isikhathi sivele siphume sihlale ehlathini kwesinye isikhathi kuze kuse kuthi mase kuyose yabona avelilele la ndoda sibuye ekhaya fanele esikoleni njalo ekseni yabo kwesikhathi singayi esikoleni othisha basibe understand yabo and then isikhathi sifike late uma kumele ageza esikoleni emsebenzini naye ngoba wayesebenza vele emajaldini yabo ngeyilungu eclean la emzini abelu and we didn't understand what was happening you know ingane wena wazi ukuthi fanele ngabe uyadla uyageza esikoleni you know but now you have to deal with all these things. I'm telling you the day that I don't think I'll ever forget. Kwakukanjalo wasixhoshile kanjalo ebusuku and then we were hiding somewhere not very far from ekhaya. Ihlathini nje labo Gumtree. Yabo silindile ukuthi alala. Ayivele simbone edlula. Ayadlula komunye umuzi osibheke. Ngiyacabanga. Abuya ashutha ngovela kasithola abuye ekhaya. A few minutes after that sibona umlilo phakathi neceke ekhaya. Ayithu my akijamani niyobuka kwenzakala masondela nosisi wami sibuka ucingweni iyasha kuyasha and then uphethe induku uyagoqoza la yagoqoza yakhuluma siyabheka ushisa impahla zethu zokugqoka
mfethu
And she's, yo. I'm telling you, I was crushed. I was crushed. I mean, kakhulukazi nje khona impahla enganginazo uma ngithengele because angisebenza ke project kama yengodo because wayesebenza emajaltini ngamgqibelo thola ukuthi usebenza ubona ugawula ingodo lezayisa kwaSapho nana. Ngithengele enye t-shirt emaroon nejini emnyama. Sayifithile kuphela. Yash. Yabo. And lapho ke the guy akasaxolisa noxolisa ngisho engasaphuzanga ayaxolisa. And I don't know lie to you. I hated the guy. Yabo, I lost respect for him. He was my father, but I had that problem. You know, and we would go live ekhaya sibaleke siye ekhaya komali eMandeni siphinde sibuye. Yabo, phela kunzima uma uzothwala ingane engaka. Yabo, siphinde sibuye nani. Ayaqhubeka la begcine khona umjuthe. Yeah, until I think year 2000 la she came back. My mother was like, let's go. And we're going for good. We're not coming back. And we didn't know where we were going, but we started staying in Mthimkhulu. But when in down, I don't know if you know Ndawo Tumlalas. Because she was looking for a place to build for us. Yeah. And that was I think it was interesting as well. Because now you're staying with people you don't know. You don't know how to act. I know my way freaking I was normal. Abone yonke inzima nje yakho. Uyabona inkhanzala ekhama idlala ithinta ukuthi awazi noma wena ungakuthinta. Yeah.
You don't know what is too much.
Yeah, you don't know.
You know.
Yeah, but that was our life. Because I mean, it must move. I mean, about year 2000, I think I was around 13 years old, somewhere around that. I don't know how difficult it was for them, you know. And somewhere in that mess. Yeah. So lapho sihlala ngokuhluka nabo bahlala kulowa muzi ayikho umuzi uzothatha ingane bahlala kulo niyabonana nje ngaleso sikhathi nibonana ngaso. Anyway, we didn't even have a lot of things to talk about because all we were thinking about it was the problems we were encountering, whatever.
Common pain.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, but I think God was good, man. Because through all of that, I think I became the person that I am today and the person that I'm still going to be.
Wow.
I think it was because of that.
Wow.
Now, mangipe, but ngaleso sikhathi ngumnyama mfethu. Ya kumnyama. Yabo. But I thank God seriously.
Yeah.
For ukuthi nje, I think nanokuthi wangisurrounda with people ababengakwazi ukungisiza. Ngazi ukuthi there is uNkulunkulu. There's something called prayer. And then that I think changed the way I looked at myself.
Sure.
Yeah, because that was the life I lived. And then now we had to move from one school to another because it's like for example year 2000 saphuma esikoleni ngoJune. Yeah, May, June sahlala because bazobhala ama exams sahamba. So now kulowa muzi la ukhona you hiding. So akumele ubaba wakhe azi ukuthi ungala ungaphi ucashile awukwazi ukudlala njengezinye ingane kwaqina unohlala endlini noma egcekeni lapho but akumele uhambe ngisho ukuya esitolo kunzima yabo ngoba awufuni kwazeke ukuthi ubaba azi ukuthi ngakuphi yabo. So we lived like that asikwazi ukuya esikoleni for the rest of year 2000, and then 2001 we moved to another place now sesiye eMpangeni. Khona kwakusekhaya kwakuhlala khona ugogo yabo so samuva sakho nakhona ayisonke abanye bayakhona ukuze ezokwazi ukuthi siye esikoleni siqede nakhona unyaka wafika khona ubaba qala uqhubeka la egcine khona kumele sibaleke sihambe futhi. And then I just moved to stay with another family engangihlangane nayo esontweni yabo because I was playing a keyboard esontweni nabo they had my instruments, I was singing. So I was a bit of an asset. So yeah, and then nalapo so kwesinye isikole, and then mayifika kwamele ngonyaka olandela ngimuve ngiye kwesinye isikole futhi samove straight to Mandeni ke manje. Yeah, so I think that's when izinto zaqala ngathi ukustabilize yabo, because wayengasilandeli lapho.
Sure.
Yabo, so uma wasitholela indawo wakha. Yabo. Yeah. I think leandle le yawayakhila okuyindla amasoyi. Angazi noma uyazi indla amasoyi.
Indla amasoyi awuchaza.
Yabona uthatha nje round yabona wakhiwe uthatha wabona ukha ngespade, ufika ngespade, ufika ngayo ushaya ngala endaweni enotshani. Bese uthatha kanjalo ngathi blocks kubanje utshani. Uthatha ulibeke. Phethe ubeke elinye kanjalo. Ubeke elinye kanjalo. Awufaki cement, awufaki lutho. Imele kanjalo. Iphelile udonga lona. Ufake inkoda ngaphezulu. Awufulele 99. That was the best house. I mean,
peace, and you owning something.
Yo, it was like we have a mansion. I'm telling you. Yeah, that was the life. I think there I got a chance to sit down, and I was alone most of the time. So I got a chance to think about life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of hatred.
Yes.
But I think that hatred pushed me as well. Because I was trying to build that relationship with Ubaba. I don't know why, man. Because
it's amazing what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a son thing, but I know with as sons, there's something
Yeah.
You know, you really know what it was. But there was something of your identity. You needed something from him. There were words that he needed to speak to you. You were searching them, not knowing what you were searching.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know. I mean, I'll go to. I mean, I remember the other day I went to Mthimkhulu, and then I was thinking maybe this guy is gonna be excited and be like my son.
How long ago was that?
I think it was in 2002. And then bengenza usana 7. And then I went to Mthimkhulu. I said, 2 years. So I'm like, this guy's gonna be excited. Go to Mthimkhulu. I'm like, oh Jesus. I left him thinking, and I'm not coming back.
Sure.
I'm not going to see this guy again. I don't want to see him in my life. Let me go back and push. Yeah, I mean, I think I started doing well at school. And no teacher knew but I didn't know and I think I had the time because I wasn't involved in why? I don't know. I think it was this thing with
wow. Sure.
Nakhona unama role models. That's the thing. Like awumbona umuntu othi nangu wafunda waba into ethile. Yabo. But kunalento ethi ngafunda. Mhlawumbe impilo yakhe izoba ngcono. And mawubuka abantu abafundile, uthi abafundile uthisha mhlawumbe nonesi nakhona umuntu uyabheka around la ngomakhelwane othisha bakude bakwezinye indawo. Hayi umbona uthisha la ngomakhelwane. Yabo. But kunalento ethi no food. I think I did well.
Wow.
And then I don't know, seriously, this thing ukuthi manga sekuthiwa ngiyachaza ukuthi yabona nansi into yayithi wena sebenza kanzima, because I remember ukuthi mangifunda ngifunda 7 ngangifunda kwesinye isikole ngangingafuna ukufunda kusona isizathu sawukuthi sokuthi ngingafuna ukufunda kusona ngangifuna ukuya kulesi sikole sinama awards kukhona isikole okune prize giving day because I could, something in me was like you can get there.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I want to go to that school. And then uma ngisangala ngenxa ukuthi naye why busy ngayibona ukuthi ayazi lesikole ngineshow ku spaces khona. Leso ufuna ukuya kusona asazi noma spaces khona because ingane eziningi efuna ukuya khona. The following year I was like, I'm not even going to tell my mother I'm going that side. Ngihamba ngo register khona. And then now ngaqala ngathola ne-identity nyana. Sekwaziwa nje ngoSandile ohlakaniphile. At least there's something now.
That's correct, yeah.
There's something now, yabo. Akusaziwa nje ngoSandile waka 1 round kuphela, yabo. He says there's something good now about this Sandile, you know. I think I decided to hold on to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was encouraging. It was giving you the thing.
Yeah,
so
man.
You needed to run with that.
Yeah, I started holding on to that.
It's quite amazing.
Yeah, and then now, mina seklasini Sandile. Makuthi angiyazi answer nje ukuthi hayi ukuthi neclass mhlawumbe mina nami umjide sasi angangimazi ukuthi wayehlakaniphile because ngangingamazi uSandile uhlakaniphile akaSandile ofunda.
Yeah, I know the difference. Yeah.
Ngiyamazi lo mjide uhlakaniphile. Makuthi akayazi lo mjide answer nami ngiyazi hayi futhi iclass aliyazi.
Nothisha uyabona ukuthi
hayi futhi inzima. Ngibuzile.
Yo.
Yeah, I mean I just pushed until grade 11, grade 12, grade 12. And nalapho, I didn't know exactly what is it that I wanted to do, ne? But I saw ukuthi, I noticed actually ukuthi uma kufika esikoleni noma kuthiwa khona umuntu ofikile mhlambe nje ozokhuluma about career, you'll have someone from accounting, and then we would be there as well, even though I was science, because I was also doing accounting. So, and then after that talk, we all wanted to do accounting. And then we figure engineer. A guy's like, no, this what you can do if you decide to do engineering and things like that. After that guy, we all want to do engineering. Like, there is this thing in us, but lack of exposure. We don't know what is out there. But there's this thing in you that says you can be a success. Your life can be a success. You know. So, but I think when I got to grade 12, I started listening to what was happening inside. Not that I trusted it. Not that I knew exactly what was happening there or where it was coming from, but I started listening to what was happening inside. And I remember sitting there because sometimes even on my weekends we'll meet with Inganes that was in Yikole and then we'll be studying together. I remember saying something. I don't believe I'm gonna say it here. I said to this lady, you know what? I think one day I'm gonna be the Minister of Agriculture in KZN.
Wow.
And I think there was something like, actually now I know what I'm not gonna be the minister. I know that. But there's something great inside that was saying, no man, there's something you're gonna do in agriculture. Something great you're gonna do in agriculture. And I loved agriculture at school. I mean, I was like the best student as a class in late. And then I started holding on to that as well. So now when other kids were applying like for medicine and all these other things, I said, I'm applying for agriculture. Why? I didn't even know what to say when agriculture, but there's something in me that says, no, just go for agriculture. Wow. I went for agriculture.
That voice was just navigating you through it.
Exactly. I'm like, no, go for agriculture. And I applied for agriculture and I got it. I mean, I got into the university and went there to do agriculture. You know, even when I get there.
Sure.
I don't know. We're going to specialize in there.
Yo.
Yeah.
What a journey, man.
Yeah, man.
Now, just to sign up of it, I went to, a couple of years back, we went to Lesotho for church ministry. You know. There's something that was very fascinating, in the unit to Semankong, you know, in Lesotho. And then I said, Omunyu Baba, elite iministry lapha akhulume ngokuthi mfethu eLesotho azikho ingane homeless yabo ngoma kushona abazali noma umalume ihlobo ziyayithatha ingane zihlale nazo esithe sayijabulela leyo nto mfethu waseshaya ibhomu elibhlungu mfethu ukuthi lezi ngane mayithathwa abantu behlala nazo zifeke ziphenduka igqila zalapha like masithatha ingane zawo zobhuti nosisi zizohlala nathi la lokho sekusho ukuthi ingane zala ekhaya ngeke sayiwashi zitshe igezi zitsha ngeke futhi zithole mhlambe zilusa lapha ile area ke indawo yokulusa ibibig so ukuthatha ingane na6 ilale ezintabeni futhi ilusa imbuzi yabo ezala ekhaya zihlala la you know. I just wanted to get a feel from you mfethu ukuthi uma usahlala all over the place mfethu as you know, as grateful as that must have been to totally shelter being provided. But what is there anything it can either be positive or negative? At times we express it to someone out there because you feel like they are doing the best they can, you know, so you can't even share you know, or at times they're like God-given, they're going an extra mile. So just to share your thoughts around that, because at times and they happen somewhere subconsciously and they are haunting us, or is it they that are propelling us to go forward? But
sure, you're touching something interesting there as well. I mean, I think I haven't taken the time and think about that. But I mean, there are occasions like for example, and lo mama lo wayengcelile wafika wangicela kuma wathi ngisacela uzohlala nami ngenxa ukuthi akunawo umuntu engihlala naye. Vele uma athi ngahamba mangifuna ukuhamba, and vele mangibuka la sahlele khona asisikwashekile kunabantu abawu3 abalala ebedroom eli1 and then thina sonke silala la phansi la kwe-lounge, yabona, angiboni ukuthi hayi ifreedom yami le, yabo, ngihambe ngohlala nalo mama, yabo, and she wasn't bad. I would be lying to you if she was bad. But the thing that happened the other day, I think or the pain. I think she would go and then wherever la corner and alindele ukuthi angilale until she comes back.
Sure.
So sometimes she'll come back at 12, at 1. Akumele ngilale because uyeza. Fanele ngilale mase sebuyile. Yabo?
Yo.
Yeah, so
why pause in there?
Angithi ngaze ngiqamba mama ngithi ngambone ephuzile ngabe ngiyamsukela, but wangathi wayethanda nje ukuba nabangani abangani bakhe, mina ngosala ekhaya ngikade, yabona, yeah, something like that. And this other day ngalala, yabo, ngalala, I don't know why, but anyway ngalala, wafika mayefika akawanokha wangakwazi ukuvula because ngilele, yabo, and then walala wangena kwenye indlu wayevele engenasicapha, so just to hide until ngivuka ngimvulele mhlawumbe ngabe 1 or 2 ekseni angisala. Yeah, I mean, angeke ngithi wangishayanga, but the words that came from her mouth reminded me ukuthi I don't belong here. Yabo, ngiyasizwa ngokuba la. So it was more like I don't appreciate. But mawubheka ukuthi ingane, I mean, I think I was 14 or something. It's like we security. So the following day I packed my bags and left without even uvalelis. Yeah, I just left ngahamba, and with God's grace, I think ngakwazi ngahamba ngohlala nenye family. Wow. This other family I lived with, they're still, even now, like they being because when I stayed with them and they taught me about God, and I was like, ingane yakho, I was like, ingane. I mean, even ukusebenza kanzima that I had to do, it's not like forced. I think nje ngafundiswa ekhaya vele ukusebenza. Yabo, ekhaya besebenza nje taslima nani, so umuntu ezinye izinto abantu abayibuka ngokuthi ukugqilazeka, mina no, kimi zazingaboni ngazibona ukugqilazeka. Like for example, mayiphuma ingane khona ekseni zakhona zihamba zesikoleni ekseni, angifundi mina, so ngangivuka ekseni mhlawumbe ngabo 5 ngiyazisalungisela ukuya esikoleni mina ngensimini, ngishaya igeja ukuthi mhlawumbe kushaya bo 9 10 ilanga seliphumela ayisenqedile asengihlalela.
Ubungafundi?
Angafundi. Ngithi ngase ngiphumile esikoleni, siyekile isikole ngoMay ye 2000 siphumile lapho isikhathi sawo ufuna indawo yokulala eyokuhlala, yabo. So kusukela ngabo May kuya koshaya uba uDecember angifundi, yabo, and sonke ekhaya singafundi saphuma esikoleni ngoba phela sizama ukuhide from ubaba nani. Yeah, so when ingane iphuma zakhona zesikoleni, mina I had to go and ngiyosebenza engadini ngangingaphoqwanga yabo but ngangibona I had to do something now yabo so I'll do that. I think I did that for a very long time. Actually even namanje umama wakhona ohlale eyikhuluma leyo ndaba usandile wasebenza mfana and mebuka manje ubani oyazi ukuthi ungahamba uzufike la yabo so yeah I even now I don't see that as ukuthi ngangisebenziswa kanzima omunye umuntu wamakhelwane wayengabu lesingane iyaqhilazeka ngaloqaba manethi ngangibone ezoqhilazeka lokho.
So would you say it was coming from that heart of, I don't know, like you were saying, Puma from a good place? I would say it's a heart of gratitude, but at times, you know, there's that thing of wanting to pay it back, you know, because you've been abused. So when you see somebody who's taking care of you, you just want to go in the extra mile now, you know, you're like, even sitting still, you feel like I shouldn't be, because let me pick gratitude and give you everything that I can.
I mean,
sure.
Of course, I didn't see it that way, but I think that's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, but so, and I mean, they were very happy with Ukhlalanam. I don't know if it was because of that or what, but I think they were a beautiful family.
Yes.
Them.
Wow. We thank God for them.
I thank God for them. They taught me a lot of things, you know, good things.
Yeah. So just on that, because I was also keen in knowing your spiritual journey in terms of ukusindiswa, because mina mase ngikwazi elento esikoleni ngikwazi nje umuntu ontsopho ngama keyboard oculayo kuyaziwa ukuthi hayi la ndoda ibisebambe mic hayi kwenzeke ezinye izinto mhlawumbe you can just linking it with that, unless there are any other stories just in relation to izinto mhlambe wawu observe uhlala emzini ehlukahlukene.
I would say I think indaba yami yokukholwa it started I think in 1999 while we were still staying with ubaba and things were happening, all the things that while they were happening there's a family emakhelwane nathi ayikholwa. So they took us to church. Yabo mina vele benginokusebenza nabo ngama weekends because bengiqoqa udoti ngashukela emagudu nje nabo babe nalo umsebenzi lo, so I would go with them on Saturdays. Yabo ngiqoqa udoti nabo and then I would be paid lo madlanyana njalo.
Ngabo 99.
Ngayiqala leyo ngemncane.
I can tell because
ngaqala ngabo 98 lapho ngaqala ukusebenza with that family. Yabo so qoqo doti njalo ngama weekends I knew, but to me it was exciting because I would get a chance to ukuba semotweni yabona oqala ukujabulela ukuba semotweni and hamba about 15 kilometers or something. Raise yabona imali okuyibonus. And then now they're taking me to church, which means Saturday ngisemotweni, Sunday ngisemotweni.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean you'll greet everyone you meet, but yamaza.
Sure.
Yeah, so they took us to church in 1999, and then there was a tent crusade, and then I mean I was 13. I don't know if I knew what I was doing, but I don't even remember I mean I went to the front, and then after that I was told which now soon okay, cool. I just believed that from there. Okay, now so mang moving with this family in year 2000 now, and then I could see what okay, and then they would force us, actually not force but encourage us to listen and then on Sunday afternoon we have to share. I mean everybody had to share. So I started listening now because, and that I think helped me to grow, even though I didn't know that I was growing. I was just doing it because I had to do it, you know. So I grew as umzalwane from there, and I always knew that I'm umzalwane, you know. So and then another thing, I loved singing. Actually, I love singing. So I mean, I was always at church because I want to sing. You know, I want to be in an environment yabantu that are resurrecting ilento le, the thing that is inside, this love for music. So yeah, and then ngaqala ngaba ne-interest ekudlaleni, and then yeah, and ngaqala ngafunda ukudlala, you know. So yeah, that's how the thing started. Mangifike UKZN, and I was already looking for the people abafana nami.
Yes.
You know, so I joined SCF. Wow. Yeah, life started. Yeah, a lot of things happened there. Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, I think SCF yenza unyaka isikhathi sami sase-university sibe.
It just blended in so well, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I learned a lot of things. They learned to lead. I mean, I learned to sing. Actually, I think that's where I learned to sing. Yeah, so yeah, it was great. I think sometimes you live your life like you celeb. Like everyone is greeting you, hey, that's something like you know. But yeah, I think I mean, I didn't see myself as a celeb, but you see people greeting you, people don't have
yes, because you're at the forefront.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I think I grew, developed as a person, and I think in different areas of my life. I think that's who I developed.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
In terms of university, how did university affect your personality? It can either be positive or negative, because for an example, with me, I think I saw a lot of change in me because of university. I'm just gonna make an example. I was a very, very, very reserved somebody until I got a university where we met, you know. At times, coming from high school, I would want to just be by myself. Like, I would just delay, then I would walk for 3 kilometers back home just by myself. But when I got there, I think my space was crowded at the university. And then I started coming out of my shell, you know, about the crew I had, about my dad. So being out there now, Nabantu. And then it started changing me. I started seeing this transition from a person who was known to be shy. Even though when I finished, I got my degree, I later in life. So that's how that place, I think, changed my life. I just wanted to understand from you, what were the things that you felt were changed or were impacted in your personality? It's either they will shove you into a shell, because at times you come from this background. You know, so whatever impacted you, because yeah, just wanted to hear from you in that regard.
I think there's a lot of things that changed in my life when I got to the university. I think, okay, of course, I thought I was shy, you know, but now when I look back, I'm like, actually, I wasn't. I just had a problem with self-confidence. Because when Mangise High School, I used to teach. I used to stand in front of the class and teach.
Yeah.
You know, but Mawuti, it's a one-on-one. Then, especially for Ngagwazi, then I would struggle to have a conversation with you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So actually, I still have that same problem. You know. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So a lot of people would find the one-on-one easier than being on the podium and just address people big group.
No, it's a struggle for me.
Wow.
Like, for example, as we were driving from this side, from our place, it's for me, Oguti Ngazuti yin that I can say. Yo, it's a struggle. Serious. And
things are flowing well, like right now. This is the best interview we have in conversations.
It's a struggle. I think it depends. And maybe in a conversation, and then maybe I can be like, okay, what can I say? Because most of the time I would think about things before.
Yes,
like, is this going to be the right thing to say? But you find me with my friends. Like, oh man, they all think I have a verbal diarrhea. You know, so and then I think I learned Ogutsi, actually I can speak in front of people. at the university, and I learned a lot about my weaknesses. Although it wasn't easy for me to accept these are my weaknesses, but I think I learned a lot about that. Actually, mawukhuluma ngendaba ukuthi mawuphuma esikoleni usala ngemumva mina bengihamba phambili. You know, just make hamba ngedwa phambili. You know, ngisheshe ngifike ekhaya nani because I don't know why, but I think I didn't want to spend time with people because nginalento ukuthi abantu ngiyabasaba, uyabo. So ngaphandle makukhona umngani ke ngihamba naye yabo thizeni, but isikhathi esiningi nje ngangizothi ngizohamba ngedwa. It's not something I would recommend, but that's what I used to do. And at the university, I actually got a chance to be alone. You know,
that's correct. Yeah,
to be alone. You say anything when.
Yeah.
So I think, but you know, you get a chance to think and to look at your life and all that. Most of the time, you'll be thinking about your pains. I'll be thinking about my pains most of the time. You know, so nana ukuthi yini engenayo kakhulu, yini engenayo, yini abanayo abanye, yini mina engenayo.
Sure.
You know, yeah. So, but as isikhathi siqhubeka, I started realizing kahle hle ukuthi mina ngubani, laba abanye bawobani, bavelaphi, mina ngivela kuphi, ikuphi la ngizama ukuya khona. Uyabo? So I mean I learned that there as well, because I don't think ukuthi if angange ngekho ngaba ukube nje ngibanga exposed to that kind of environment, if ukuthi ngangizokwazi ukuthola lelo thuba to think about ukuthi where exactly am I going? You know, where exactly am I going in life in me? Not my friends, not the community, but me. So I got a chance to do that. So I developed in that area. And then another thing is the issue of your language. Yeah, I think maybe enye izinto engenza ngifuna ukuhlala endlini ngedwa. Because and people would be speaking English. I remember even you guys, you know, and then I would go to a kitchen and find you guys speaking English with this car. I'm like, yo.
Hey, Mama, those guys that were intimidating. Lapo that we're just trying to crawl out of the bucket just so that you can, you know, improve. Because umuntu background I put my way vessel. Now just this is guessing this is
like yo, manje mina ngikhuluma isingisi nami. And yeah, I mean, I'll just run away from people.
Sure.
I mean, because of that. Yeah, but I remember the other day you guys called me to a kitchen in Sandile. I didn't have food, right? I didn't have food to eat.
Sure.
And then I'm waiting for Roma Wotangfagili man. And then lapho ngizla into enganginayo ngaso sikhathi, it was just ngihamba uthengisa ingwasa la isinkwa lapha eCheckers.
Yes.
Isinkwa sunshine. Thenga sona. Ngibambe pholoni.
Hey, that was the combo juicy. Yeah.
Ngazayikhumbula ifusion.
Ngiyakhumbula.
Bambe yona. So ngidla wona. And then I think it was Madala who called me. He's like, "Ndoda sikubona kitchen wena." I think it was second or third week ngifike. Asikubona kitchen nando.
Sure.
Ngithi hayi angisanothi ngaphendula ngathi. And then he invited me to come and eat with you guys. Yabo. And lapho nakhona manje kufika this thing uthi I think ngafika, and then you guys nangikudla. And then nalapho ngiya issue now I'm becoming a burden to other people. I'm coming from ukuba a burden.
No.
I'm a burden. University, I'm a burden again.
What a torment to fit
you
in
know,
your mind.
These guys are trying to help me, but I feel like no. I can't be a burden to these guys now. You know, and I didn't have food, serious.
and I don't remember the incident, I'm not gonna lie. But all I know, for us, it was like, it was open, especially, I'm not gonna lie, the guys that we were hanging around, you know, we do my dialogue, you know, it was just open, you know, we were just free, but thank you for sharing that, because I don't remember that. It is quite amazing now that you're sharing that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and then after that, I would hide from you guys, because now I didn't want you to call me. Because now I'm like, no, can't be a burden to these guys.
Sure.
You know, so, and I mean, people didn't know what I was eating, and I was happy with that. So, because then you know, life in nature, look at somebody now.
That's correct. That's correct.
So, yeah, I think.
Yo, I'm glad you shared this one.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
I struggled with the English. Sure. Yeah, and I realized actually, and I have to do something.
Usuthuswa naye yithi kanti nathi asazi lesi singisi.
Yabona
ngoba thina sasizama, and another thing that we did, obviously, we went to a white dominated church. Like 80% of the church that time it was white, and you know.
Yeah.
So, and then we started hanging around with people from Limpopo. So, you know, we're just trying to mingle and improve with English faster than, you know, Bengenze. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
There was nothing different. There was nothing different.
Yeah,
you know.
I understand. I'm telling you, I struggled.
Sure.
I mean, inyinto uselendele. Useklasini khulunywa isingisi. Yabo? And then even ingane ohleli nazo la eduze kwakho zabantu bami makhuluma isingisi. And then you go to a rest khulunywa isingisi, you're like, I'm in the wrong place.
Yo, this thing is following you, man.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I think because of that as well, in isingisi, I failed. Yeah. And yeah, I failed. I know I'm diverting from.
No. This is the right path. You're on the right path.
I failed, and I think failing changed a lot of things in me. And I'm grateful to God for that. Which I failed my first year.
Sure.
I failed dismally. Like, for example, one figure, I registered 4 modules. It was science, physics, maths, chemistry, and biology. So end of the semester, I was failing even on my test. I think even for who qualify to write the exam, it was mainly because of my 4 practicals. And then I failed 2 modules and I passed 2 end of the semester. And then I was like, I'm not going back to write those supplementary exams. I don't think there is something better than Wednesday.
Sure.
Because now I had the time to prepare, and my lecturers were there, and the other students, they could help me. Now, you remember at UKZN that time, you would go home.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
And then you come back later for my supplementary exam.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then now I think I'm going to pass those exams. I told my teacher, and he gave me 250 rands to go to travel to UKZN from Ekaya.
Was a teacher from high school or
from high school?
Oh,
it's a teacher who taught me agriculture in high school. And then Tishu Kumar.
Oh wow,
and he gave me a lift on top of that to Durban. And then when he dropped me at Durban, he doesn't know this. When he dropped me at Durban, I decided I'm not going to UKZN.
Sure.
I went to my uncle's place in Mlas. I didn't go to write. And then I went back to UKZN second semester. Now I registered 6 modules. I had to do 6 anyway. And then physics, maths, chemistry, and biology. And then you had many modules like bioresources. I had 2. End of the semester, I passed 1.
Out of 6?
Out of 6. I passed physics paired. And then now I've got 3 subs, and then I got 2 straight fails. Now the university is saying, you're not coming back here.
Sure.
So if you don't pass Lama subs, you're not coming back. Yeah. And then I started regretting why I didn't write my subs first semester and all that. But
what was the reason for that? Was it anger or what that made you decide the first time you failed? You got a sub. I understand you had put more effort and then you felt so what was the main thing I driver? Was it like the anger? for this, why ngapasanga?
It could have been that. I don't think it was the only thing. Enye into kunalento eyenzakalayo. Yabo, if you've been told ukuthi you are a failure. When these things happen, you know, this thing comes back. Anyway, maybe I deserve this anyway.
Sandile, just to cut you there. It's quite amazing what you're saying, because I think what you're saying is very, very deep, and that's why I want to cut in there, because all along you have this challenge about the high school and primary, you know. So now, was it that because you felt like this thing was now revealing the real you now, Uguti? Ultimately, all along you were doubting yourself, but to pass, it's going back Vuma. And it was all failure for the first time, if I may put it that way, and now you want to believe that to go to Mklambe, you know.
Yeah, you know these things when you can ignore them, but they're there.
Yeah, that's profound. That's
They're
profound.
there.
That's profound.
You know, they're gonna come back at some point. You know, and you'd find you would say, there's nothing ewatrikarishile ngaleso or izinto ebeziwatrikarisha ukwazi ukudila nazo. But now when you are in an environment that says mawungena kuyona, you don't deserve to be there. You know, you go to the lecture and then there's a white person standing in front of you, like, when you don't deserve to be here. When you look at yourself, you're like, at home we used to have ingane ezifunde ekoleni as so those are the people that deserve to be here.
That's big.
Not
That's
me.
Big.
You know, and you even forget that you qualified to come here. They were not doing you a favor.
Man.
But now this thing in you is like, no, you don't deserve to be here. Actually, when you start failing, you're like, yeah, actually, this is what you deserve.
Man.
You know.
Man.
And I'm telling you, man. Yeah. So I failed, and after failing, and I came back. Now I decided I have to write these supplementary exams. Yeah, I came back and wrote the supplementary exams and passed 1 out of 3. What's how, I don't know. But I got a 50 on the dot for chemistry, and then the university was like, okay, we can give you a chance to come back, but now go to financial aid and see if they're gonna give you money for the following year. And that was gonna be mainly 2007 now. And then NSFAS is like, you didn't get 50%. You're supposed to pass 50% of your module, so we're not funding you. Yeah. So I remember it was there. I was like, yeah, my world is shrinking. Told my mother I might be coming back home, and I tried a lot of things. None of them seemed to work. And then I was writing, I'm appeal, and the English is terrible. So I was always at student counseling, and now they're helping me write and appeal and all that. And then I think with God's grace, I was granted this thing.
Wow.
NSFAS for the first 6 months. I was told that if you fail here, you don't have NSFAS for the second semester. Yeah, I think that changed everything.
Just on that, I think with us who have a similar background to the one Oisherai, this thing you might not come back, or we are not granting you. How was your background screaming at you? Because for us, most of us, whenever we'll go back home, you know, you end up forgetting a reality as a car. You only realize when you come back with, you know. So how was that like, you know, screaming at you, or what was it like? I might come back to this full time now, and having not achieved what I had gone out to obtain out there.
I think the biggest problem was I think I was scared of that's number one. Of course, I mean, I don't know if with any motivation.
Yeah.
You know, not this thing at hey, you have to change this thing.
That's correct.
Because I mean, as we reality, because I mean, like shower, we land the pants, you know. So and so now, I mean, I was always motivated. No, I have to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
But when that, when I was I was told you might be going back home permanently. Sure. And I was thinking, okay, maybe I might be able to deal with it. You know? Anyway, there's nothing new. And that's the life I've lived, you know. But I was thinking now about my neighbors and my teachers that had confidence in me and all that. So how am I going to face them? You know, how am I going to explain this? You know, and my mother was going to be disappointed, and on top of Fuguba disappointed Guam. You know, I'll tell you what I'd applied for a job, by a petrol attendant, and I remember what my result appeal. They called me for an interview. Monday, and I decided that I'm gonna go and just hopefully get the job and just be a petrol attendant. Anyway,
sure.
That's the kind of jobs we had access to, you know. So there wasn't gonna be anything wrong with that. And I remember God, you know what, God can use anyone, eh?
That's correct.
And another guy who was a friend, not a very close friend, but he was a friend. He asked me a question like, so if you go, how many credits are you going to get for doing that? I'm like, no, this thing is not about credits. You know, I'm not going to get financial aid, and the university is kicking me out. So I must find something to do. And he's like, don't go. He's like, no, don't go.
To that job?
To that job. No, don't go for that interview. Just wait. I waited. And the following week, and then I was told, no, we're giving you financial aid. You know. So, and yeah, like I said, I think that's the thing that just changed everything for me. It, like, everything changed after that. Because, I mean, as you say, like, my background was like, it was screaming at me, but I think I had accepted. No, there's nothing new. As we been saying, so who doesn't fail? You know, I think my only concern was the explanation I was going to have to do with my neighbors, and because even my mother had accepted, I'm coming back home. So yeah.
Yes, just on that, contemplating on it, because the psychology, I think we hardly speak about this thing. This thing of coming from your background or high school where you are like the most intelligent person ever, and then you get to the university and things, you know, like in my case, I think the undergrad, I struggled, you know, because I remember there was a time where in Sandile figure, and I was wondering why kuna soccer field, you know, you know, why le club ndawuphuza lela ngase holo lapha at the university inside, you know. I used to wonder why lezi zinto zelapha, because why uma uphuma ngala ekhaya la ngiphuma ngakhona kuthiwa go there and study. Do not focus on any other thing. Just study. And then at times you fail to balance even impilo, you know, ukwazi understand ukuthi I can read, but then I can also jog, you know. I can go to church, I can go watch something, just take my mind out of incwadi. So at times, the transition is a challenge, because for me, I felt the longer I spent, the time I spent in Wadini was becoming a challenge. I needed something as a distractor, you know. I remember we were first year. That's when I started realizing the importance of this thing. So as I'm in student ministry, we were just out there for the weekend. So we left for that place on Friday. We came back Sunday afternoon. For the first time ever, I was without my books, you know, and I felt my mind that something had happened in Mundrinyam, you know. So I just needed to highlight on that. At times, kuba nalento leyo kuhluleka ukubalansisa ukuthi ngiphuma ngalana ngishawela izandla number 1 noma number 2 esikoleni sonke, ngiyafika ngalana ngizo experience imlenze nokufeyila for the first time, you know. And then bese ukwazi ukubalansisa impilo yakho and time management. I'm cooking at this time, I'm not thinking about books. At this time, I'm going to the library. At this time, I'm sleeping early. Zonke lezi zinto. And I feel it was at a master's level where I started enjoying school, because I felt I had the thing balanced so well. I had ingane engikhulisayo, I had a wife, I had umsebenzi, and all these things are happening, but I could manage my time, you know. So I could be fully present at classini and be fully present emsebenzini. So I think maybe just your thoughts on that, because at times, as you said, the shy was not because we didn't have what it takes to pass, but a whole lot that is happening. Your background is screaming at you, you know, the fears of going back, failing, people having to explain, you know, all those things, they matter, and they play a certain role, you know.
Yeah, I mean, trying to balance that, I think it's very difficult, and I think it also contributed in failing one. You know, even though, I mean, I would like to think English, I mean, had something. I mean, it contributed. I mean, ungakwazi ukukhuluma English and then communicate. But I think failing to balance as well, because I mean, I was at SCF most of the time. You know, there were among rehearsals for the choir. We had rehearsals for the worship team. You know, I mean, we had 2 services a week. There was prayer.
Sure.
And then, you know, like you end up there all the time, and then you have, maybe you spend iskashanyana with your classmates, like that, and then at warp sometimes you chatting with people while you're cooking or whatever.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that is taking the time as well from the Saskatakonas. And then I'll go back to your books. So there isn't even a plan to say this is how I'm going to be studying, you know, and then you struggle because you struggle. Actually, you can't balance this thing, you know, and nobody taught you how to do it, and there is nobody who even indicated while you were in high school that actually you must learn to balance.
That's correct. Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So I think it's interesting to hear that you started enjoying school when you were doing masters. I enjoyed university for my second year because I felt like I was in control. Second year, like I said, it changed everything for me. And being told I might leave the university. Okay, we're giving you a chance. I started cancelling a lot of things. I went to SCF.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
I am not gonna be involved.
Yes.
You know.
I mean, I'm not saying yes because it's SCF, but I think I like what you're saying, because even at this age, I still struggle because it's easy to overpromise, and I'm afraid to say no to people, you know. And at times I easily get abused because I'm no. And we're okay with I'm saying no. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm no longer in sync or in agreement with this. I still love it, but my time is not allowing me to be there, you know.
Yeah, and I had to do it. And another thing is now, if I say no to SCF, which means I'm no longer going to be singing. I love this thing, you know, and I could see that I was growing as a musician as well. My ear was being trained and all that. But I had to say, no, I'm not coming back.
Sure.
I'm going to be there on Friday and Sunday for the services, but I'm not going to be part of the choir and the worship team. I'll let you know, Master Singirati. You know, and I stopped that, and I had to change a lot of things. I mean, I had a few friends, and then I decided, these guys, because they would go to, because I actually sat down and looked at my life, and I said, what is the problem? You know, okay, this is the problem. I think spending too much time at SCF is a problem. And then studying with friends is a problem. So, Sandile, you must know, from today, I would say the only people that know what needs to be done here is yourself and the lecturer that said.
Sure.
You know. And I made that decision. I'm telling you, after that, I started enjoying being at the university.
Wow.
I'll tell you, that semester, I started talking in class with my broken English. I started asking questions in class. I'm like,
bravo.
Who's this now?
Wow.
After making that decision, I mean, I look crazy. There are people who started calling me Agrip because I was always at Agrip and I enjoyed school. You know, I'll tell you, the person that used to say you're waffling in first semester when I'm writing, I'm a test or I'm writing my nonsense, they gave me a job that semester as a research assistant.
Wow.
At the university.
Sure.
And it's not like I was getting about 90%. No, I wasn't. I was like 50, 60, somewhere there. But they could tell what I was interested.
Level of dedication.
Yeah, they could tell that I was interested. And then I think I became interesting to them as well. You know? So, yeah. And then, yeah, that changed a lot of things. You know? So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Wow.
I loved it.
Sure. Just that, I know some of us, I think, I just wanted to hear your thoughts. It's either yes or no. In English, having gotten saved as a university, I think one of the challenges I experienced in Glendale was in English, we're like into the ministry, like, you know, everything so we can look down and know accounting and become whatever. What am I doing here? I'm supposed to be studying something that has to do with the ministry, you know. And then, you know, when they disconnect, man, because God has to, I know you can serve God wherever you are, but you feel like, no, you know, when I'm in this place where I'm praying, I'm worshiping, you know, this is where I want to be, you know. This thing in workplace somewhere, you know, maybe we're going to a conflict, but, you know, I just wanted to check with you, where you started doubting into just feel because you're feeling like finding your focus on ministry full time, you know.
No,
yeah.
I don't remember feeling that way.
Nice.
Because when I decided to do agriculture, it was from inside.
That's correct. Oh yeah, that's big. That's big.
And when I was in second year, I changed from I was registered for BSc in agriculture, but specializing in crop science.
Yeah.
But when I was in second year, I changed to soil science.
Yeah.
Why? I loved it. You know, I just fell in love with it when we were in class. Like, this thing makes sense, and I think I'll enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So now when people I know a lot of people who changed and said, no, I'm gonna be going to a ministry. I never felt that way, and something in me, I wouldn't say I knew this, but something in me was saying, you can serve God wherever you are. You know, so
that's profound. Yeah.
I wouldn't say I could put that into words the way I'm doing it now, but I just believe that I can serve God wherever I was. And if I changed, I was going to be a musician.
Yeah.
I was like, if I live this, I will be a musician. You know. So I never seriously thought of going to the ministry that way.
Yes.
You know.
I think it helped in your case because now I'm remembering what was in this way, you know. So in English, we were testing this thing for the first time at the university. So, you know, so I think that's why a lot of people are being even affected because so kusana lento kubayintsha lento lena, and then, you know, but no, that's a good one.
It could be it could be that other people, they're always on fire, and I actually I don't think we would say I was on fire, you know. And if
you were calm about it,
I was just calm about it, because if you were to take music away from church, I don't think I was going to be there.
Yeah,
and I was going to be as active as I was.
Yes,
no, I don't think I was.
I hear you.
You know, so because I was just that kind of Mzalwane that you wouldn't even give a microphone to say share.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't that kind.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, I didn't have much scripture anyway.
Which one is that one?
Yeah, but yeah, I think my focus was mainly on. I knew I was Mzalwane, but the focus was mainly on singing, worship, and instruments and all that. Yeah. Nice.
So now, take us through now from your second year that is now showing, it's just showing signs now, which this gonna be bearing fruit. From that second year to your PhD, just that journey, you know, and how was it like? Ukibeliye France, you know. Yeah, so we want to hear humble was France, you know. But just from second year, just take us through from second year leading to a PhD.
Wow, second year, man, like I said, I started enjoying school, being at the university. And I remember I would say, I mean, sometimes I would remain at the university during holidays because I mean I knew I had a job.
Yeah.
So I'd be working with this professor, I mean in his projects and things like that. So like my marks started improving, you know, and I got to a point where like I know I'm gonna pass. You know, I was like, I'm just working hard, but I know I am going to pass.
Wow. Hey, well, that's the most beautiful thing
I'm telling you,
to have as a student.
And I was enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed soils.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I started taking modules that people were saying, this is difficult, well, I'm going for that one.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
yeah,
wow.
I'm going for that one. You know, and if I feel that I want to do it, I'll go and do it. You know, and I became somebody different from the person that I was when I first entered the university. So things improved, and then like I said, my lecturers started gaining interest.
Yes.
Showing interest, and then they knew me by my name, my first name. The lecturer knows me. You know, that was good as well. Like you know, it made me, you know, feel like I'm somebody important here. You know, so. And then I'm getting an opportunity to serve as a demonstrator. I mean, and then sometimes you are invited to do that. It's not like you go and say, can I? Sometimes you'll be invited by the lecturers. You say, no, Sandile, can you assist here? And I look at myself like, I'm not even getting 80s. I mean, like 60, 50, 70. But I'm just interested.
Hey, but 70 there, my friend. So, 70 in that place, hey, is something else. Even 60 place, yo.
I'm just interested, you know. So, and I'll tell you, when I got to my fourth year, which was honors, and I was invited by my lecturers to say, okay, no, I would love to work with you. You know, there's this project we're doing. Please, can you be part of it? I'm like, oh, okay. And then when you get that is also, I mean, improving your confidence in you, because you're like, there's something that this guy, I wanna do. You know, so from there, and then while I was doing my honors, actually before I finished, then I get I would say, I don't know if it was an email, but I remember that one of the lecturers told me that we have a master's project. Would love to have you as our student in that. I'm like,
wow.
Huh?
Wow.
No, we don't have to do any paperwork. We're gonna do everything for you.
Sure.
The only thing you need to do is to decide what you are gonna get project or not. And another thing, we have 30,000 that you're gonna give you next year if you decide to be part of the project. I'm like, 30,000. You know, I mean, it's gonna be for the whole year, but now I'm like 30,000 coming into my pocket. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going for it. Yeah.
Bring him calm.
No, I'm going for it. Yeah, I went for it, and then I actually realized when I was there, which actually 30,000 is not in my lingago, because now unyaka wonke, you know, you spend a lot of money, unyaka wonke. But yeah, and while I was doing my masters, and then I also get another call from my supervisor is saying we have a PhD project. Actually, would love you to be part of it.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Sure.
Right. And then don't worry about other things. Don't worry about other things.
This is amazing.
We have applied for funding and everything. Just come and do the project. I'm like, okay, cool. Finish this side, and then I started my PhD. Like that. I don't remember putting an application for these things, and I don't even think I was a good student now. I was just a student who's interested. You know? So yeah.
Hey, what if just said there, but a student who's interested. But I think that on its own, but is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at anyone who's a student, even in life, but to be interested and have curiosity, I think that can take you far.
Yes, actually.
Sure.
Somebody, I think once said, in order for you to be interesting, you must be interested. you know. So I was interested. And the other thing is, actually, I didn't even know but I just loved this thing.
Yeah.
And it just made sense. Yeah, but you can see it everywhere. You know, so, and I was into it. You know, so, yeah. And while I was doing my PhD, and then I was told that there's an opportunity for you to go overseas, and then you can be there for 3 to 6 months. I'm like, yeah. Actually, at that time, I think I was already working, because I told her a internship, because they were saying it's an internship. And then I applied for that. I got the internship. So I was working for the Department of Agriculture at the time. So actually, it wasn't an internship. I would say it's a graduate program, Tizeni, because it was paying a lot more than the numbers of my internships, you know. So, and I'm there, and I don't want to leave this job. And I'm saying they're like, no, you can't be away for this Katesgag. You know, we've just started here and all that. So we ended up going to France we were there for 1 month.
Wow.
Because at work they're like, no, you can't go for the seat. But we're like, it's fine.
You always been living a week a bit.
There for 1 month. And, yeah, it was exciting. And another thing, I mean, it's the first time yeah. You know, got the when ulwela ukuthola itekisi ugibela itekisi kade ungalithole uthuba letekisi now usiyogibela ibhanoyi
ubuweva ngama Saturdays
uyacabanga and then now usebhanoyini like you yeah, no, I think that as well, I mean, it changed a lot of things about I mean, in the way I look at myself.
Yeah.
You know, and after that, I looked at myself you know, and changing the way I looked at myself changed everything around me.
Wow.
You know, so, and that reminds me of something that was said by another guy. If you change the way you look at yourself, I mean, you change everything else. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Sure.
So I changed the way I look at myself. I
I
changed the way I look at things around me, and everything changed. You know, I started seeing opportunities where I started seeing myself as someone who can contribute something, and I think when you start seeing that, like, you feel like you can contribute something.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's great. I have a role to play. Oh, wow. I'm not just a number. I'm not just a number here. There is something I can contribute. You know, and that has been pulling me now. From there, I'm like, there is something I can contribute. So I have to discover that. What is it that I can contribute here, and just keep on refining that. And I think even now I'm still in that journey. But I think I sing traveling like I could. Because now I know that there is something that I can contribute, and I'm very confident that there is something I can contribute.
Sure.
You know, and not only with family, I'm not only in my community, but I think we country, continent, and even there is something I can contribute. Now,
for a reason.
There is something I was born for. Yeah, now there's nobody that can take that away from me.
Yes, ungazothi mine mfethu sure, but that is when a lot of us are in chains, you know. Kulezo zinto oqeda kuzisho manje, you know. Ukuthi umuntu ulimele ekhanda simply because they are doubting themselves. They feel like, I'm done, I'm finished, there's nothing engayenza. And there are systems, even systems that were created to make somebody look at themselves that way. There's nothing they can offer. But the minute you switch, you start to believe I can, you know. Yeah. And a lot changes, you know.
Like everything changes.
It's quite amazing. I like this portion of scripture in the Bible where uDavid uhambisela obhuti bakhe ukudla, you know. And David has been conquering lions and bears in the desert, and he's already, after that, I mean, ubese anointed, you know. Umesehambisa ukudla obhuti bakhe abalwana noGoliath. But again, what are you doing here? You know, uyishiye nobani ezizimvu ezimbalwa, you know, just trying to belittle him ukuthi you're not even taking care of a big number of sheep, you're just looking after something small. Like they were trying to make him feel as if he's nothing, but in his mind he'd already made up his mind. What do you mean? I'm set for greatness, you know.
Yeah, and they didn't know the battles as one.
Yo, that's big.
And that was an advantage for him, you know. And oh man, that was an advantage for him. They didn't know those battles. Bona inkinga wena mfethu masibuka izinto sizibuka ngendlela thina position esikuyona.
Yeah, in isolation kwezinye izinto.
Yeah, it's like uma ngimi lapha esihlalweni khona izinto engikwazi ukuzibona wena ohleli phansi ongayibuka. Uyabo? So siyakhohlwa lokho manje kulula ukuthi ayikho lento ngale but mina ngiyayibona because ngime esihlalweni. Uyabo? So I think it was like that with David. He could see that side, you know, but people couldn't see there. And I think it's the same thing that happens to us. Because arrogance, like this boy, you know, like and when you can see the thing, and when you're sharing with other people, they're like, when, you know, you know, but because when you can see, you know, and I think I'll go on.
No, it's quite amazing, Pedro. So this is a manje because thank you so much for your generosity and this card in what I wanted to drive at now, this is Olenda. The Bible corner the part of Moses who sent the 12 spies to go and Israel. I was good. 10 guys come back saying the guys in that place are tall, they are muscular, they can throw stones at a distance, they will defeat us. The other 2 guys, when they come back, they speak well of what they saw. Look at the crop in that place. You know, guys, let's go there. We will defeat those guys. You know, and I feel that to coming back to this thing, as to be highlighted. I'm a victim myself of in the low self-esteem, the imposter syndrome. A lot of people do not know that because, I mean, I'm better off, obviously, but I like that I'm bringing this up to you because you know this guy. Go July is guess I Rwanda, Svashelu Milid, Usilva. You know, I think you'll remember him very well. Yeah, I was complaining about some of the things, you know, because I'm a type of guy who can go and impact in pillows band. But after that, I'll be scrutinizing each and everything I said and did, you know. And I'm easily hard on myself in that regard, you know. There's a blessing and a curse of that, obviously. It has pushed me to be where I am, you know. But I just wanted to bring that there because Umelinda spoke to me within daughter. Just spend some time analyzing the imposter syndrome, you know. And when I was reading around the imposter syndrome, I realized I had that thing that's giving me hard time. I have everything that I need to get to where I need to be. But there's that thing of an imposter syndrome, you know, where you can be complimented even by the great people. I get that, but at times it's difficult to receive it, you know. You are a doctor now. How do you move forward to knowing very well your background, the things that you've conquered, the battles, the lions and the bears, and the voices in your head that are telling you good to know, you know, you shouldn't be here, you know, you don't belong here. But to be able to fight that and say, you know, some people, they even use this thing, even positive, or to as a presenter, and they know what they don't have what it takes. They feel like they don't have what it takes. And then they will spend enough time to critique themselves. By the time they get on the podium, they're just doing it. Because low self-esteem, it also helps you to find more effort. While abanye abantu relax and find more effort. So now you are a doctor, but you are doing great. You are a lecturer. Maybe you can share more on that. How do you then carry yourselves moving forward from a background?
You know, those voices, I don't think go for this cut like on
I think that's what I've accepted with myself.
I don't think go for this cut like on and they're always there, even Namaj.
Yeah.
I doubt myself a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and if I can tell you, even company engayisebenzela bengisaba ngisho ukukhuluma kuma meetings. Prepareile ngiyazi into engizoyisho esinsikhathi.
Babheda abantu phambi kwakho.
Like lo muntu uyabheda. And ngifundile lento ngiyayazi lento lena ekhulumayo ayikho. Uyabo but ngithule. Yabo mase ngengaphandle I'm like, yo man. Uyabo. And those voices, what I decided to do, I would say 2-3 years ago, I decided, I'm gonna have to have something against that will pump every day. As a reminder, who am I? You know, every day.
Sure.
I'll tell you, I've been doing it for 2 years, but for 2 to 3 years now. But those voices are still there. You know, there is self-doubt. So I have my own mantras I do every morning. Every morning. Yeah. So I didn't do them today. I just woke up late and then went straight to work. Yeah. But I do them almost every day.
So when you say every day, today it's Sunday. So because one will think one will do them Monday to Friday where you know what you're going out there. So it's quite amazing with you that even on Saturday and Sundays where you know what I'm not facing any bears and lions, but you still...
You need it.
Hey, that's amazing, my brother. That's amazing.
Look, man, while I'm busy cutting the grass at home, like today I was cutting the grass, there are thoughts, there are ideas that are being deposited. If you didn't do that, you're going to reject them. You're going to reject those thoughts, those ideas. So I'm like, I have to do it.
So those are good ideas.
Those good ideas that are going to change your life and the lives of other people.
Yes.
So you like, if I don't do this, I normally reject those thoughts. I be like, nah, no, this is for abanye abantu abathile abakwazi ukwenza ukuthi nokuthi. But now if every day I make sure that I wake up in the morning and say these things, you know, they start pulling me to direction engifisa ukuya kuyona. And when these ideas are being deposited, most of the time I'm calling my friends, you know what, this is a thing I want to do. But even if they say that, I know this thing is going to happen, you know, and I heard the voice, you know, whether it was, I don't know where it came from, but I believe it's God. I believe it's God speaking to me. So I will take that. I will write those things down, you know. So I believe that we need it every day.
Yeah.
You know, like you. I feel like sharing one of them, but
no, please do, because I think obviously the viewers right now they're saying Tulane, please.
You know,
better share the number 1 or 2.
You know, because what I did, I think 2-3 years ago, I wrote down my vision. Right, what is it that I think I'm about? My mission, and then my values, and then what is it that I believe in, and all that, and then I've got these mantras that I have to say every day, and my mission, my values, and everything, I say them every day as well. So, and then I've got these mantras that I say every day as well. So, like for example, I would wake up in the morning and be like, I'm a child of God because I believe that Jesus is the Christ. Being a child of God means that I have access to everything I need. Wow. Everything I need. You know, sometimes I'll count presidents of different countries, Fortune 500 companies, presidents. I have access to all of them. I have access to all the help I need. I've got access to all the wisdom and all that. I'm saying it sitting where I am. I don't even have my phone numbers of the people I'm talking about. They don't know me, but I just believe I do have access to all these things. So once I break that, like whatever thought that comes to my mind, I'm like, I can do it. Right? I can do it. You know, I look at people and be like, this guy, he's known globally and he's doing 1, 2, 3. I can get there. I just know I can get there. There's nothing that can stop me because I started by saying I have access to everything.
Yes.
You know. So, wow, that has built my confidence, you know, and it continues to build my confidence. And not good, I'm no longer doubting myself. Sometimes I do, but
it's a battlefield.
Whenever I need doubt, I remind myself of those things. But say, okay, Sandile, this is who you are, you know. So after that, I'm like, okay, let me just go for it. You know, I'm still failing. In the evening, but I'll still go back and be like, yeah, Sandile, yeah, you have access to all these things. So go out and do it. You know,
Wow.
if I failed yesterday, today we cannot convict an innocent person. Innocent person, no. Today,
wow.
Let me do it.
Can't convict an innocent person. That's powerful. Yo.
So that's just how I'm trying to live my life, you know, and that has changed a lot of things. I've got thousands of ideas. I'm like, okay, I think this is the kind of life I want to live, you know. So yeah.
Wow. No. Yo, Petro, you know, yo, this is amazing. You know, my head is spinning right now, because, you know, this conversation, Petro.
No, thank you.
Yes, Petro, I've known you for years, Dan, but I mean, the thing is, we blended science, but I thank God for this channel, because I think ever since I started now doing these interviews this way, you know, or these conversations, it's like there's this thing that keeps telling me that Tulane, everybody's got their own story, you know. And I think this is why I'm opening this platform, because one of the things, in fact, I was talking to this other lady, also cousin, we were just chatting recently, because in physical interview, and so I'm telling her, and at times, we wake up and live the day, and we don't go back to really sit down and recall things that we've gone through, you know. And at times these conversations could be therapeutic, because now we are talking about these things, and now I remember whatever. And at times there are people who've contributed, and you remember these people as you share with how oh, let me check on them, you know. How can their family, you know? Let me reach out to them. You know, now I'm a doctor, you know, you and as we live, in fact, you recall, you know, and in fact, thank you so much for this, and I will have to bring it to a close, because I respect your time as well, but in fact, I wish this could go for 3 hours or so. I think we will make some time, but I think it was really important for me to get this. I want to put to this thing of voices. I strongly feel this Tulane that people appreciate, and I am that person because of these voices of it, you know. I give a talk, in fact, about being impacted greatly. I come back home and this thing says, hey, Dr. Hank, you need to up your game, you know. Why did you speak that way, you know? And in fact, I'm messages from abantu at the hostile, but what you did there was just, you know. And before I realized what I was battling with the imposter syndrome, there was one of the producers from Ukos. Every time I talk, literally, Dana, I can listen to you every day, you know. And I'm like, they can listen to me every day. But because of the imposter syndrome, Dana, I'll be hard on myself. I'm getting phone calls from people. I heard you on Ukos. You were killing it. I was on the verge of committing a suicide. Thank you for the message you shared. But me, now I'm busy cutting myself and saying, hey, I could have done it better, you know. And lastly, on this, Utili Jakes, he's never shared it openly, directly as well. But every time a message, every time I share in after that message, we are a hotel, each and everything I share. And I know what he might not share it openly. But as a tubungula, it's easy to carry a knife, cutting himself. Hey, leli joke and lendanga kahle. Le introduction yam, this thing in Gishola. But in fact, that thing makes us who we are, you know.
It's not all bad.
It's not,
because I think you need that.
Absolutely.
You need that. I think without that, I don't think you will grow.
I'm telling you, Ndana, the thing pushes, and the imposter syndrome, another term for it fits up perfectly with the imposter syndrome. But you continuous improvement. I think, hey, Fred, yo. Thank you so much for this.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Wow.
I really am grateful. No, thank you. But
this, I mean, I'm just gonna upload this now, and I just want to sit next to my wife now and just watch this and see receive it once more, because this conversations, in fact, you know, I thank God for this, you know, I really, really thank God. And yeah, in fact, thank you so much once again. You are married now, in fact, just, you know, and how's the situation at home now, you know? And I wanted to ask you something. Ngifuna ukuchecka ilento ye-men's health nezinto zo-therapy. Having gone through what you've gone through, some of the things could be lying there subconsciously, you know. One day, in fact, uzoyithola situation, how are you handling with how are you interacting with your past to make sure with it going forward? Usuba nabantwana makuthi umgcina ungakabi nabo, I'm not sure noma sele nabo. Usuzoba nabantwana, how are you making sure ukuthi ipast yakho ayikhonti to destroy whatever beautiful things that you're building going forward, you know? Yeah, sorry, but I'm excited, you know.
Yeah. You know, thanks for that. You know, you know, that, you know, I remember in 2000 and when my father passed on in end of 2020.
Oh, sorry, when was it?
End of 2020. Yeah.
Sure.
And then I was very okay. Number one, before I got angry, I was happy that he's dead.
Sure.
I'm like, finally. You know, I'm like, but there was that relief. It's no, at least now, you know, he's no longer with us. You know, and then days and hours before the funeral, I mean, I was like, whatever. It was like a stranger. It's a stranger who died and all that. I think, and it was a day before. Yo, I was just fuming, you know. I was very angry.
Day before the funeral.
Yeah. I was very angry, you know. And I didn't know where was the anger coming from, what was it about, but I was very angry, you know. And after that, I realized, no, there's something here. I didn't know why I was angry. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you what happened there, because it's going to be a long story, because we're about to finish. But I'll tell you that, okay.
No, please feel free. If you want to share time, this will be uploaded. So, yeah. The platform is open.
Yeah. I'm telling you that we were supposed to attend the funeral, you know, and then we went there. I couldn't finish the funeral. I had to drive back home. And then,
yeah,
you know, I'm that kind of person.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
So niyahamba kulento kagogo. Wayekule gogo washeshe wabuya.
Ngasheshe ngabuya.
Bashona ngicishe kufana mhlawumbe.
Yes. Babe lento lena. Bazongcatshwa ngeinsuku ezisondelene. Yabo. So and then ngibuye ngihlala endlini. And I couldn't actually even, I mean, it was difficult.
Sure.
Like, I didn't have strength at all. You know. So ngahlala ne. And then there was ilento and because I tried to download these motivational talks, and then I was just listening to them. And then I think it was T.D. Jakes who spoke, who was speaking there, and then he spoke about your government, you know, and then he said, whatever you do, but don't lose your mind, something like that. I'm like, okay,
sure.
And then I stood up. Actually, I just went out of the car and then went into the house. and then prepared for the funeral, everything. And then after that, the anger came back. Now I was like, I sat down with, like, I actually wanted to go for therapy. And then I thought, okay, let me just work on myself first. Let me try and understand what's happening. I just felt like I can do it. I wouldn't recommend this, but that's what I did. I sat down with myself and I started asking myself questions. Like I would wake up in the morning and sit for 2 hours and just ask myself questions. What's happening? You know, and I'll explain to myself, I think this is what's happening, you know, and then I will talk to myself, and I tell you, the other day, I don't remember what's I remember that the anger, I think it comes from Ogoti. I believed Ogoti Sotola Nobaba before he dies. You know,
sure.
I knew that was going to happen at some point. And I had actually told my sisters and Ogoti, no, man, he's not gonna die before Storyland. And then he died before Storyland. So now I was angry with myself. And I was like, maybe I could have done better and all that. But I knew what I tried. But you know? So I was very angry, but I kept on, I mean, doing this thing what Mthimkhulu saying, and then talk to myself, what's happening. And then I jotted down so a few mantras that I was following. And things that are clearing up in my mind. It was, okay, no, this is what's happening. Oh, maybe was because of 1, 2, 3. I started analyzing all those things. Oh, this is what happened to him. Okay, this is what happened. And then maybe he didn't deal with it. So I need to deal with it. So, and then that thing, the anger I had for him, and then after that I started seeing the good things he did for us, you know, and a lot of good things that actually before that, because to me it was just hell, everything. And I started seeing the good things that happened in my life, and then things started clearing up, and I think as things are getting better in the way I look at myself, like I said earlier, because of that, you know. And I still believe at some point I'm going to have to go for or traditional therapy, if you put it that way. I think it is important that I go do that.
I think so too. But,
I think it is, and you know, actually I was planning to do it this year, but I'm like, okay, fine, maybe let me just start next year. But I feel in my heart that I'm going to have to do it.
And just on that, my leader, I'm not saying what you need to do it because I see certain things where I want to do it. Now, if as a guy, to be honest with you, I've never done I've never sat down with a psychologist, you know. I've only sat down with a psychiatrist, you know, because when I was depressed, at the time I needed medication because of depression, you know. So that thing, it was quite amazing. One thing that was the best highlight for me was, as I was sitting there thinking I was there because of APC, when I was given a platform to talk, I ended up talking about other things. That's when I realized the power of this thing. There are things subconsciously that are suppressing us. Some of them we're not even aware of them. You know? So on the surface, you can easily point. The reason why I have a problem is because of that. Up until you sit down and then they take you through things, and then you realize, hey, you know. So I'm glad, my brother, with two men are speaking about the therapy, and we are speaking highly of it. It's something that needs to be done, because and we need to seek help. But I do feel I need to go with therapy. So this year, but early next year with therapy now. If you understand what you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting you saying that, because I started seeing myself doing things that my father was doing.
Sure. Yeah. That's the most scariest thing.
And the thing that made me realize that, I spend a lot of time you know, so I analyze the things I do. So like, now I'm doing this thing that this guy used to do to us. You know, like, the way I think, because even if you're not doing things physically,
that's correct.
You're not doing things physically.
That's correct.
But they're in your mind. You're like, why am I thinking this? I'm like, no, man, I have to fix something. You know. So, and I think that's where, like, no, I think I do need this. You know. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to do it. You know, and I'm gonna do it. You know, yeah.
Sure. No, my brother, thank you so much, man. So conclude lapho. How's your relationship with your mom, and you're married? You can just share briefly there, and then on social media. Then
we go mama's boy, man.
Yeah. It's amazing, Fetu. The last two guys I had on the show.
Yeah.
I had with Mthimkhulu. We had a good conversation with Nai. Washolo Uchi mama's boy. Last week I had some case. Washo the same thing. Now I have you on the show, and you are saying the same thing with mama's boy. And I grew up with to get alone because I'm attached to my mother. She's the only one I grew up with, you know, in terms of umuntu. So you grew up with that thing, but you want to make sure that your mother is taken care of. So, you know, and go back about people like mama. So I'm mama's boy, but I'm beginning to realize how people are easily saying I'm mama's boy, because I grew up trying to make sure I'm shying away from that. You know? But now, as I'm a daughter, speak more about being mama's boy. I think I'm beginning to embrace that. Okay, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, so yeah, I am, and we have a very good relationship with Uma.
Nice.
I wouldn't say we're like friends. I mean, I think because of Mthimkhulu that distancing.
That's correct. Yeah.
But yeah, she's the only parent I know. So, and then but yeah, we have a very good relationship.
Wow.
So, and in Mangsekai, you spend a lot of time talking.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, and yeah, I, like we said, I'm married. I have a beautiful wife. You know, so yeah, we have a very good, I'd say, marriage with her.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're still loving each other.
Yeah.
Got married in 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
is it 6 years now?
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. Yes, and then I'm trying to think of the other question you asked.
Oh yeah, no. No. I think it was just about closing remarks now. Okay. If you were to conclude, what is it that you'd like to share with our viewers, or just closing remarks? It could be anything. But this conversation is equal 2 hours, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's quite amazing. Obviously, it's not about this cat with but it's quite amazing. But I feel like there's still a lot that can be unpacked. As much as what you've shared, I think we need to make some other time, definitely, you know. But it's quite fascinating because a lot of us are becoming things we never had, you know. And the strain that comes with that, you know. And, you know, fathering in the dawn, that's what I'm talking about in that book of becoming things that you never had, where you can end up because, you know, they are being driven to best schools, they go to best schools, they, you know, and they have everything they need, you know, and you never had that. Subconsciously, what that thing does to you, you know, to have a beautiful marriage, but you never saw a beautiful marriage out there, like, you know, you know, all those things, and now you are something that you never had, and how that impact your mind, you know, even your mental state, you know. Those are some of the things I wish to include in my therapist discussions, because I'm fascinated by these things, you know. But I look at you now, you are married for 6 years, things are running beautiful, but the background of Pumaguyo, it was something else, you know.
You pick actually Abu Baba office of father like a son to like
yes,
like to be like
yeah.
You don't know much about
that's
him,
correct, yeah.
I mean, it looks like things are happening, guys, and you're like, I wanna have that kind of marriage, you know. I wanna be like you know. Of course, it's gonna be a struggle when you're trying to sue Baba Gaman.
Yeah.
So segmele uzamu kuba. That's
correct. That's correct.
It is a struggle.
You know what the challenge with that is? As beautiful as it is, and you're quite right. Ugcina usufihlelela ama-challenges. Like umuntu mezofuna ukuba abuke mina njenge-role model. Uzobuka izinto ezibona ku-social media. We've never sat down and I've never shared with you the challenges that I have. You'll end up measuring yourself against umuntu ongaphili, ongekho real.
Yes.
Because up until you sit down with me, ubone la ngiqhuzuka khona, even izinto ezimple engiqhuzuka kuzo, you know. But we are where we are, and we're still moving forward. We thank God.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Yeah,
man. I'm not someone who's social media, but yeah, I do have an account on Facebook.
Nice.
Sandile Mthimkhulu, I think that's the only social media and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Because I think what is this? Instagram or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I do have an account that my wife created for me, but I don't use it. So yeah. I think yes.
Wow. No, thank you so much, my leader, for your time. This was an eye-opener for me, and there's quite a lot that I've learned from these conversations, and I know our viewers will say the same. So thank you so much for taking your time. And
no, thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bro.
Sure.